Have you ever wondered what anarcho-syndicalism is? Let's delve right into it. At its core, anarcho-syndicalism is a political and economic theory advocating for a society where democratic worker control shapes the means of production. It's a blend of two principles: anarchism, which opposes hierarchical authority, and syndicalism, which empowers labor unions and workers' associations to bring about revolutionary social change. Anarcho-syndicalism proposes a society where workers, not bosses or CEOs, have the reins. It envisions a world where those who work the mills run the mills. It's about direct action, bypassing parliaments and politicians, and making change happen here and now. The goal? A society without hierarchical structures. Anarcho-syndicalists see a world where workers manage their workplaces, not through the whims of the market or dictates from above, but through direct action and solidarity. So, anarcho-syndicalists seek to create a society without hierarchical structures, where workers manage their workplaces through direct action and solidarity. Anarcho-syndicalism didn't just materialize out of thin air. Like most ideologies, its birth was a process, a response to the social and economic conditions of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This period was marked by labor movements and revolutionary struggles, particularly in Europe and Latin America, where workers sought to challenge the status quo and demand more equitable conditions. The principles of anarcho-syndicalism resonated with these movements, combining the tenets of anarchism and syndicalism to advocate for a society based on democratic worker control of the means of production. It was during this time that influential thinkers such as Rudolf Rocker and Émile Pouget emerged, promoting the organization of labor unions as a means to challenge capitalism and the state. Their ideas spread, and the anarcho-syndicalist movement gained prominence, becoming an influential force in the struggle for workers' rights. Anarcho-syndicalism played a substantial role in various labor movements and anti-authoritarian struggles, particularly during the early 20th century labor unrest. Does anarcho-syndicalism still exist today? This is a question that may have crossed your mind. The answer is yes, although it might not be as widely visible as it once was. Today, the principles of anarcho-syndicalism continue to inspire contemporary labor and activist movements worldwide. In the global landscape, there are several labor unions and organizations that still adhere to anarcho-syndicalist principles. They emphasize the importance of workers' self-management and direct action to address labor issues and social inequalities. These principles guide their operations, shaping their approach to activism and their strategies for effecting change. Take, for example, the Industrial Workers of the World, or the IWW, a global union that advocates for worker self-management. They fight for the rights of workers, aiming to create a society where the workers control the means of production. Their motto, "One Big Union," encapsulates the spirit of solidarity that is central to anarcho-syndicalism. Across the Atlantic in Spain, the Confederación Nacional del Trabajo, or the CNT, continues to uphold the anarcho-syndicalist tradition. Founded in the early 20th century, the CNT played a significant role in the Spanish Civil War and continues to be active today. They advocate for a society based on cooperation, equality, and worker self-management, just as they did more than 100 years ago. Meanwhile, in Japan, the Zenrokyo Federation is another example of a labor union that embodies anarcho-syndicalist principles. They champion direct action and worker autonomy, standing firm against hierarchical structures in the workplace. These are just a few examples of how anarcho-syndicalism continues to influence labor movements around the globe today. While the term anarcho-syndicalism might not be in everyday parlance, the principles it champions are alive and well. Anarcho-syndicalist ideas remain relevant in discussions about workers' rights, workplace democracy, and the challenges posed by global capitalism in the modern era. These ideas continue to inspire, guide, and challenge us as we navigate the complexities of our contemporary world. In a nutshell, anarcho-syndicalism is a fascinating concept. It champions the idea of a society built on democratic worker control of production, marrying the principles of anarchism and syndicalism. It's a philosophy that emerged from the fiery crucible of labor movements and revolutionary struggles in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, especially in Europe and Latin America. Thinkers like Rudolf Rocker and Émile Pouget were instrumental in shaping this philosophy, advocating for labor unions as a means to challenge capitalism and the state. While not as prominent today as during its peak, anarcho-syndicalism isn't a relic of the past. Its principles of workers' self-management, direct action, and solidarity continue to inspire modern labor and activist movements. Today, labor unions and organizations worldwide still adhere to these principles while addressing labor issues and social inequalities. Therefore, understanding anarcho-syndicalism provides a unique lens to view labor movements, workers' rights, and the ongoing struggle against social inequalities.